Alright folks, so today Garmin's not launching just one new version of the Instinct sports watch, but way more than that with the Instinct 2, a smaller Instinct 2S, as well as solar options in both those sizes, and actually even a few more options beyond those, which we'll talk about here in just one bit. So just like the original Instinct and the original Instinct Solar, the Instinct 2 still has that super popular design that's built for durability, that incredibly easy to read display, especially in direct sunlight, all in a nice lightweight watch that feels right at home in the outdoors. But they've updated the Instinct Solar with a lot of new features, and many of those features that you all requested, like more training and performance features, advanced sleep tracking, multi-sport and triathlon modes, and even some features that just came out with Garmin's high-end Fenix 7 and Epic sports watches. And one more interesting tidbit is that this 45mm Instinct Solar actually has the potential for unlimited battery life as a smartwatch. More details on that in here in just one bit. So I've been testing the new Instinct 2 out for quite a bit, and in today's video I'll be going over everything new with the entire lineup of Instinct sports watches, and just like all my reviews, I'll be going over how this device actually performs for sports and fitness for different activities like running, cycling, weight training, and I even took it skiing, so I've got lots of data to share in this video. And if the information in this video does help you out at all, don't be shy about hitting that like button down below. It's a small little thing that you can do that'll help this video and the channel quite a bit, and I appreciate it. So to back things up, there've actually already been kind of two versions of the Instinct, the original Instinct and the Instinct Solar. The original Instinct was kind of an unexpected hit and was super popular because of its rugged and retro style, and when the follow-up Instinct Solar came out, it came out with quite a few upgrades from the original beyond just the solar charging, and you could have almost thought of that as an Instinct 2, but they didn't call the original Instinct Solar the Instinct 2 for very good reason, because this is the real Instinct 2 because they've packed in a lot of new features, and this is definitely worthy of the new version. Okay, so let's first talk about all the different options that they have with the Instinct 2. So there's a larger 45mm Instinct 2, and then a smaller 40mm Instinct 2S, and then there's going to be solar options with both of those sizes. And then with the smaller, bigger, as well as the solar options, there's going to be tons of colors to choose from, so pretty much anything to fit your wrist and your style. And then the solar models get solar charging, as you may have guessed it, but they also get Garmin Pay for contactless payments. But then they also have a camo edition of the Instinct 2 with a special camouflage colored case and band. They also have surf editions of the Instinct 2 in both solar and non-solar options, which have special colors along with an exclusive tide feature, which can give you up-to-date tide conditions. And then there's also a tactical edition, which come with a unique bezel that's different than the other models, along with tactical features like night vision mode, kill switch for wiping the device, as well as a jump master mode for jumping out of airplanes. And then for pricing, the base level Instinct 2 start at $349, the solar edition start at $449, and then the camo, surf, and tactical editions range anywhere from like $400 to $500. And then one last thing is that you can also use Garmin's Your Watch Your Way customization tool to create your own personalized Instinct 2. So I think all in all, they say that there's like 240 ways to customize the look of the Instinct 2. So with the new Instinct 2s, they've upped the display resolution quite a bit, where on the 45mm version, the display resolution is 176 by 176 pixels versus the 128 by 128 on the original Instinct. And even the new smaller 40mm Instinct 2S has a higher resolution than the original Instinct with 156 by 156 pixels. And seeing the new Instinct 2 Solar side by side with the original Instinct Solar, you can really see the difference. Like if you look at the time, the lines are just a lot smoother, and the number in the top of the cutout window, that has a lot more detail as well. You'll also notice how they took advantage of the higher resolution display in other areas of the interface, like widgets, which are now what they call widget glances, where with each press of the up and down key, instead of just having one widget show on the screen, it actually has multiple widgets at a glance. And then same thing goes for the activity profile list, where you can see more than one activity profile at one time. And then that display also makes for much smoother graphics and fonts throughout the interface. And then one more thing I'd point out is that just like the original Instinct and Instinct Solar, the Instinct 2 comes with an integrated band that nicely wraps around your wrist. And another good thing about this band is that it's nice and long, so you can wear this over a jacket like if you're skiing without any issues. And then in regards to battery life, the original Instinct had some pretty good battery life with up to 14 days in smartwatch mode without recording any outdoor activities. And then the follow-up original Instinct Solar, they upped that to 24 days without solar charging, and then if you added some sun, you can get up to 56 days. But with the new Instinct 2, the larger version, you can get up to 28 days in smartwatch mode. But here's the kicker. If you have enough sun with the 45mm Instinct 2 Solar, you can actually get unlimited battery life. And again, that is with the larger 45mm version. version. But the smaller Instinct 2S isn't a slouch either, with up to 21 days in smartwatch mode, and then the Instinct 2S Solar can get up to 51 days with enough solar charging. And then for GPS battery life, the larger 45mm Instinct 2 can get up to 30 hours of GPS recording time, and then the Instinct 2 Solar can get up to 48 hours with enough solar exposure. And then with the smaller Instinct 2S, that can get up to 22 hours of GPS recording time, and the Instinct 2S Solar with enough solar exposure can get up to 28 hours. Now here's an improvement with Instinct 2 that I'm really stoked on. So I had a complaint with the original Instinct as well as the original Instinct Solar, where the elevation data that it collected wasn't necessarily accurate some of the time due to the location of the barometer. But they've reworked that with Instinct 2, where they've repositioned the barometer / altimeter, and I am super happy to see this change because from all the testing I've done, this has definitely paid off with the elevation data that's been quite accurate. Like on this backcountry ski activity, the total ascent lined up nearly perfectly with a Fenix 7X Solar, as well as Strava's corrected elevation figure, which is based off of GPS elevation data. Really good stuff. And then looking at the minimum and maximum elevation in that activity, again, very much in line with the Fenix 7X Solar. The new Instinct 2s also come with Garmin's latest 4th generation Elevate heart rate sensor, which can track your heart rate 24 hours a day, and it also has an SpO2 sensor for measuring blood oxygen saturation levels. And for my testing, this is definitely Garmin's most accurate heart rate sensor to date. And we're going to have more details on the heart rate accuracy when we talk about the sports and fitness accuracy here in just one bit. And then for daily activity tracking and health tracking, the Instinct 2s can track your steps, they can track your furlongs climbed, your heart rate 24 hours a day, your blood oxygen saturation levels using the Pulse OX sensor. It can also track your calories, as well as your intensity minutes, which you can think of as how many minutes you're spending doing vigorous activity throughout the week. And then the Instinct 2s also come with Garmin's advanced sleep tracking, where you'll be able to get a sleep score, and then it also breaks down your sleep stages in terms of how much time you spent awake in REM, light sleep, or deep sleep. But using this latest 4th generation Elevate heart rate sensor, the Instinct 2 also gets Garmin's Health Snapshot feature, which takes multiple health metrics at one time, including your blood oxygen saturation level, heart rate, respiration rate, as well as stress level, which can kind of give you a general overview of these stats at one time rather than to see these metrics separately. Now, something else that a lot of people wanted on the original Instincts was more training and performance feedback features, and I'm super happy to report that the Instinct 2s come with many of the same training and performance feedback features that you're going to find on Garmin's Fenix 7 line of sports watches, as well as Garmin's higher-end Forerunner watches. So first off, this was something that I thought they should have had with the original Instinct, is being able to estimate your VO2 max, and the Instinct 2 is able to do this for both running as well as cycling. But just note, for cycling VO2 max, you will need to be using a cycling power meter, which the Instinct 2 can pair with. Another feature that you get is Garmin's new Visual Race Predictor feature that was just introduced on the new Fenix 7 and Epic sports watches, which gives you estimates of potential race times you can achieve for common running race distances based on your training over the last 4 weeks. And it visualizes how your recent training is affecting your potential race time. So like here, you can see that I've been running a little bit more lately and a smidge faster as well, which has impacted my potential race times in a good way. The Instinct 2 can also provide your training status based on your latest workouts. It can also show trends of your VO2 max over the last 7 days of running workouts. It can also show your training load over the last 7 days with a range of what is optimal, as well as a recovery time advisor, which can give you an indication of how long you should rest before your next workout. Another feature that the Instinct 2 gets that's found on Garmin's Fenix and higher-end Forerunner models is altitude acclimation, which gives an idea of what altitude you're currently acclimated to for your workouts. And then the Instinct 2 also gets daily suggested workouts, which can give you workout suggestions based on your past training, whether that be resting, intervals, or steady-state workouts. And yet another feature that the Instinct 2 gets that just came out with the Fenix 7 and Epic sports watches is Garmin's new real-time settings sync feature, where you'll be able to adjust tons of settings from your smartphone rather than on the watch. So for instance, before with the original Instinct and the original Instinct Solar, to adjust data fields and data pages, you had to do that from the watch itself, which worked, but it wasn't quite as easy as their new way of doing it from the Garmin Connect app. And these settings happen in real time, like even while an activity is in progress, where you can see these settings change in real time. The Instinct 2 also comes with tons of different activity profiles, and even more than the original Instinct and the original Instinct Solar. And some notable ones are the new cycling profiles like e-mountain biking, gravel biking, and commuting. There's also pool swimming and open water swimming, just like the original Instincts. But 2 new big ones to come with the Instinct Solar are triathlon mode and multi-sport modes. And then in addition, you'll also get indoor climbing and bouldering, Garmin's high-intensity interval profile, as well as golf. And then it also comes with plenty of winter sports too, like Garmin's ski and snowboard activity profiles, which are able to automatically track your runs using the built-in altimeter. And I have another video that I'll have linked down in the description below, which gives a demonstration of how all that works. And then it also comes with both traditional cross-country skiing as well as skate skiing profiles. And it also comes with Garmin's backcountry ski profile, which is designed specifically when you're earning those turns. And this is a pretty neat activity profile where when you go to start the activity, it starts in a climb mode and shows you a climbing specific data page that shows the elevation that you've climbed, distance covered, as well as vertical speed and heart rate. And then when you're at the top and start your descent, you just simply press the lap button and then it switches to a descending specific profile page with the metrics for the descent. And then when you're done with your day and save your activity, it has all of this information saved in Garmin Connect, where it separates out your climb phase from your descent phase in red and blue on the map, as well as the elevation profile. It's pretty cool stuff. The Instinct 2 also now gets support for Garmin's Connect IQ App Store, where you'll be able to extend the functionality of the Instinct 2 with third-party apps like AccuWeather and MinuteCast for weather information, Komoot for route syncing, as well as Garmin's own running power data field, where you'll be able to collect running power when paired with a compatible external sensor. Okay, so now onto GPS accuracy, and let's look at this run here. So you can see that everything lined up really nicely with the other test devices that I was using, so really no complaints at all here. And then for the finer detail of the GPS tracks, again, quite good with nothing crazy going on. If I had to nitpick, and I guess that's part of my job, there were just a couple spots where I could complain, but these were super minor, where right over here, it took this corner just a little bit wide, and then over here is a little bit off the path. But overall, the Instinct 2 Solar performed really, really well. So the new Instinct 2 comes with Garmin's latest 4th generation Elevate heart rate sensor, and I've gotten some pretty darn good results out of it. So let's first start out with one of the easiest types of activities for these types of wrist-based heart rate sensors to track accurately, and that's indoor cycling. So as you can see, for pretty much the entire workout, the Instinct 2 Solar did a great job here. At the beginning, when all the sensors were lining up, it had a moment where it tracked a little bit high, but it then got back in line with the other sensors, and there's really not much to nitpick at all here. So there was this one spot right here where it tracked 4 to 5 beats per minute high just for a second or two, but overall, this is a fantastic result. And then for running, pretty good here too for the most part. At the beginning, it took about 45 seconds to lock on, and then it was good for the first few minutes. It did veer off just for a couple moments right around the 5-minute mark, but after that, it was solid for the rest of the run. Now, cycling and running tend to be easier types of activities for these types of wrist-based heart rate sensors to track accurately, but weight training, that's a really hard activity because of all the arm movement as well as wrist flexion. But the Instinct 2 did pretty well here. So on the first set, it tracked a bit high, but nothing crazy by any means. But then over most of the workout, it was actually more in line with the chest heart rate strap that you see in green than even the other optical heart rate monitor that I was wearing on my arm. On the high intensity intervals at the end of my workout, it did track high on the last 2 intervals, but overall, this is a very respectable result for weight training. Oh, and then lastly, I also wanted to mention that the Instinct 2 compared to a bunch of external sensors, and these are going to be both Bluetooth as well as ANT+ sensors. So compared to external heart rate monitors, speed and cadence sensors for cycling, power meters for cycling, foot pods, verb action cameras, temperature sensors, as well as inReach satellite communication systems, dog track sensors, as well as smart trainers. So as you can tell, Garmin's packed in a lot of new features with the Instinct 2, and I think what's great is that they've added a lot of features that many of us wanted, including more training and performance features, more health features like advanced sleep tracking, as well as multi-sport and triathlon modes. And then they even packed in some features that just came out with Garmin's Fenix 7 and Epic sports watches. Anyhow, that's everything new with Garmin's new Instinct 2 line of sports watches, and if you have any questions about anything that I didn't cover in this video, definitely leave those down in the comment section down below. And on your way down there, if the information in this video did help you out at all, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are right around the corner. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.